Good morning to our speaker today, the Honorable Mr. William Rheault, PA, Ibu Uswatun Hasanah, M.Pd, and Ibu Nurul Afiyattena, M.Pd. And good morning to all respected and beloved participants. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to online webinar program Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris, Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan, Universitas Tansa Mashiro, under the title Unlocking Better Career Opportunities with Speaking English, with me, Andina Nabila Gusriani, your Master of Ceremony on this great occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, let me deliver structure or the rundown of the event today. First, reading prayer. Second, singing our nation anthem Indonesia Raya. Third, welcoming speech by Rector of Tansa Mashiro University, guided by Bapak Dr. Haji Soleh MM. Fourth, giving token appreciation. Fifth, photo session. Sixth, opening seminar guided by moderator Miss Siti Hana Sumedi. The seventh, sharing session and asking for questions. Lastly, closing. Ladies and gentlemen, before coming to the next section, let's begin this online webinar by saying Basmalah together.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
To start the online webinar, let's begin with opening reading prayer by Rafid Fadisha. The time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, before starting into our agenda, let's pray to our divine Allah. Our divine Allah give us successful in our agenda. And for our friends still sick and cannot attend to the meeting, let's pray to our divine Allah. Our friends will be healthful in their life. And for our friends and for our parents in their homes, our God Allah give them easy pull for searching the rich. Astaghfirullahalazim, astaghfirullahalazim, astaghfirullahalazim. Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammadin fil awwalin wal akhirin. Wa barik wa sallim wa radiyallahu ta'ala an kulli sahabati rasulillahi ajmain. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wa bihi nasta'inu muridan nabiyyin. Astaghfirullahalazim, astaghfirullahalazim, astaghfirullahalazim. Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammadin fil awwalin wal akhirin. Wa barik wa sallim wa radiyallahu ta'ala an kulli sahabati rasulillahi ajmain. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Hamdan syakirin, hamdan na'imin, hamdan yuafi ni'amahu wa yukafi mazidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu wa lakal syukru kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhikal karimi wal azimi sultanik. Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammadin salatan tunjina biha min jami'il ahwali wal afat wa taqdilana biha jami'al hajat wa tutahhiruna biha min jami'i sayyiat wa tarfa'una biha indaka 'ala darajat wa tuballighuna biha aqsal ghayati min jami'il khairati fil hayati wa ba'dal mamat. Innaka 'ala kulli syai'in qadir. Allahumma ighfir lana dzunubana wa dzunuba walidaina warhamhuma kama rabbayana shighara. Rabbana hab lana min azwajina wa dzurriyyatina qurrata a'yun waj'alna lil muttaqina imama. Allahumma inna nas'aluka salamatan fid din wa afiyatan fil jasad wa ziyadatan fil ilmi wa barakatan fil rizqi wa taubatan qabla al maut wa rahmatan 'indal maut wa maghfiratan ba'dal maut. Allahumma hawwin 'alaina fi sakaratil maut wan najata minan nar wa 'afu 'indal hisab. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Bifadlika subhanaka rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamun 'alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Next session is singing the national song Indonesia Raya.
Hiduplah tanahku, banyak padanya
The third event is welcoming remarks from Rector of Tansa Mashiro University, Bapak Dr. Haji Soleh MM. Without any further ado, I would like to invite Bapak Dr. Haji Soleh MM as Rector of Tansa Mashiro University to deliver welcoming remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bapak Dr. Haji Soleh MM. The floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam
wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah wa syukurillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'du. It's a pleasure and an honor for me to be able to welcome honorable ladies and gentlemen in this opening of the first Selatan Samosir University International Conference on English Teaching. Everybody, actually, we have held it several times before, but after being university, it's the first one. It's entitled Unlocking Better Career Opportunities with Speaking English. Excuse me, everybody, to give greeting for you all. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, our faculty dean of teacher training and education, Selatan Samosir University. By the honor, our keynote speakers, Mr. William Rheault, BA, Mrs. Uswatun Hasanah, M.Pd, Mrs. Nurul Afiyattena, M.Pd, and of course, our beloved English lecturer and student of Tansa Mashiro University. At present, I'm very pleased to welcome you to the first Tansa Mashiro University International Conference on English Language Teaching that entitled Unlocking Better Career Opportunities with Speaking English. This is the first international seminar in our English education department as the host. We hope this seminar will provide some key input to unlocking better career opportunities to all participants and Tansa Mashiro University students, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that by participating in this webinar, we are at the right place, at the right time, and of course, at the right chance. Therefore, together, let us learn from our case speakers who have had a career of international experiences. And I'm delighted that the discussion and activities here will be an opportunity and encouragement for all of you or for all of us in crafting better careers. I'm sure that you will find new ideas, also new energy, spirit, and new partnership for your future careers. Finally, I have to say God bless you all, and I wish you all a very successful webinar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thanks to Bapak Dr. Haji Soleh MM. For the next session is giving token appreciation. This is token appreciation for Mr. William.
Thank you.
And this is a token appreciation for Ibu Uswatun Hasanah, M.Pd. This is a token appreciation for Ibu Nurul Afiyattena, M.Pd.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
For the next event, we'll be guided by moderator. Without any further ado, please welcome Ms. Siti Hana Sumedi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam sejahtera semua. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. First, Universitas Tansa Mashiro International Conference on English Language Teaching. With me, Siti Hana Sumedi, your moderator on this great occasion. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, without waiting any longer, I would like to invite you to our first speaker today, Mr. William Rheault, BA, from University of Quebec, Canada, and TESOL certified from Arizona University, USA. Mr. William Rheault, BA, is a project manager and international educator who has so many experiences and projects across the global. He was a director in Trilingual Evolution Camp in Quebec, tutor at Poirier, Quebec City, volunteer at Gioran English School in Hanoi City, Vietnam, teacher at Writer English Center in Hanoi City, Vietnam, and speaker at Universitas Bina Bangsa and Banten State Islamic University, Indonesia. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. William Rheault, BA. Time is yours.
Selamat pagi, everyone.
Selamat
pagi.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes, Mister.
Nama saya William. Saya dari Canada, and I'm come here today to share my experience about the English language, and also I hope that I can motivate you to learn English and to practice every day, because in my own opinion, and I think this is backed by a lot of research, I think English is one of the most powerful tools that you can have in your life. So in your professional life, but also in your personal life. So I'm going to share my screen now. So yeah, this presentation is going to be about the global career opportunity for English speakers. First of all, I'm just going to introduce myself very briefly. I think you already talked about that, so I just want to say, like, I'm a Bachelor of Arts from University of Quebec. I've traveled the world. I've been to more than 12 different countries. I've worked in so many different fields. I've been a project manager, but I've also been an English teacher. I've done a lot of things. And basically, I'm a native French speaker from Canada. So my own native language is French. It's not English. So that means that just like you guys, I had to learn English by myself, or like I had to learn in school and everything like that, because my family, my community, everybody speaks French. So on that level, I'm also an English learner. I'm still learning English every day, just like you guys. So I've worked as a director in a trilingual summer camp because I also speak Spanish. I really like to learn languages. So because I was able to speak English and Spanish, I was able to work as a director in this camp with all the kids, and I share my love of language with them. And then I've also been in Vietnam as an English teacher. I've lived there like for about 2 years, and I've taught more than 500 students. And finally, I've done a lot of public speaking in Indonesia with my friend Uswa, the second speaker today. So we've been to so many different schools and universities and everything like that, because I really think that English is so powerful, and I want to share you this message today. Finally, I also like to do some volunteering. So I've helped the poor people in Hanoi, Vietnam. We are feeding the homeless, doing some community service and collaborating with NGOs. So basically that's who I am, that's what I do. And now for today's main topic. So am I speaking too fast? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Yes, Mister.
So,
We
all right,
can.
good. So I'm going to talk first about the global trends of English. As you can see on the right, whoops, here on the right here, English is currently the most spoken language in the world. So this means that this is everywhere you go in the world, you're pretty sure to find someone who can speak English. So if you want to travel, or if you want to work abroad or study abroad, learning English is probably the most powerful thing that you can do for your career. English is the dominant language of global business, technology, science, everything. Okay, so this is the most powerful language in the world today. This opens the doors to multinational companies and opportunities. And so yeah, as you can see, like I personally, I think French is a cooler language, but it's not as strong as English. So I'm not that much of a fan of English myself. I think I use it more like a tool, but it's such a powerful tool that I want every one of you to have this tool in your life, right? And some people really like English also just because they think it's beautiful. But yeah, I mean, like 1/3 of the world population, that's a lot of people, you know, like 2 billion persons in the earth now can speak English and they use English. So it's going to remain the world's most widely spoken language over the next 10 years. And at least, so people will, teachers will continue to be at the heart of English learning. That means that English teachers are going to be in high demand in the future also. And English is so widespread now that, for example, like all airplane pilots, they have to speak English. And so many other professions that we're going to see, like English is so important in the world right now. Okay, so this time I'm going to skip. So now we're going to talk about some different career options in which English language can be important. The first one is international business and trade. So if you want to work in the business world, if you want to be a businessman, a businesswoman on the international level, English is de facto language of international business. That means that everybody in the high business levels, they are able to use English. And multinational corporations that like Chrysler or Samsung or Microsoft and all of that, if you want to work for them, they're going to ask you to have a strong English proficiency, more likely than not. So that means that in any career field, English knowledge is very valuable. And finally, this is the fastest spreading language in the history of humanity. We don't know of any other language that spreads so fast. The second one is tourism, hospitality industry. So maybe you want to work in the tourist facility, you want to work in a hotel or in the cruise ship or restaurant or cafe. Anything related with tourism, it means that you are going to have direct interaction with foreigners. And when people travel, they speak English. Okay, I've traveled to a lot of countries. I've met so many travelers. Everybody uses English as the language when traveling because it's so easy. We know that. Okay, the staff in the hotel, they are supposed to speak English. Or when you go to the hospital, even you want the staff to be able to speak English. So everybody is familiar with English when we are traveling. So basically, yeah, that if you want to work in the tourist industry and any kind of job in that industry, English is super important. And then the next one is teaching English. So maybe like have you ever thought about becoming an English teacher? I think this is a very good career path right now because the global demand for English instruction is massive, okay? We have about 2 billion people learning English on Earth right now. So that means that we need a lot of English teachers. In almost any country, you're able to get a good job teaching English. So about 80% of the teachers also in non-native countries, they are non-native speakers, just like you and me. Okay, so that's why I was able to teach English in Vietnam or in Indonesia or the Philippines, anywhere, okay, because they need English teachers almost everywhere. So yeah, you can teach English and you can travel the world and have a lot of fun and make some money. So I think that's a good career path also. The next one is about technology or software sectors. Maybe some of you like to work on the computer. Maybe some of you are like a little bit more like a nerd or something like that, and you just want to be on the computer and code or play some games, you know. Well, most of the technology, most of the documentation and resources for this sector is in English. So the proficiency is also important. If you want to communicate with your colleagues and clients all over the world, you're much better chances to get the higher clients if you can speak English. The global industry, multinational opportunities. So we have like a multinational corporations once again, and all the technical vocabulary, all of the new stuff, like the highest level stuff in the technology sector is going to be in English. Customer support, sales, project management, you have it. If you want to have the higher position in almost any organization, they're going to ask you to be able to speak English, because it's important to be able to communicate with the other organizations, to be able to communicate internationally with the universities or any institutions. They will ask you, if you want to have the high position, you can be sure you need to speak English, okay? So other than that, like even in healthcare, if you want to be a doctor, you want to be a nurse, you want to work in a hospital, you want to take care of the people, it's very important you are able to communicate with them. So you are able to work in an international hospital, you will surely get the higher salary and you will get the better position than if you only work like in the local level hospital. So it's important for the documentation, record keeping, collaboration with other providers, because also you need, if you work in the health field as a doctor or as a nurse, you always need to keep up to date with the new information, with the new science, with the new health, you know. So you have to continue your education, and it just so happens that the best documentation, the best science about healthcare is all in English, so you can get access to all of this information. So yeah, there's a lot of employment opportunities in the health sector. This is one of the biggest sectors of employment in the world right now. Yeah, so there's so many more things that you can do because you can speak English. You can work as a translator. My friend Uswa has worked as an interpreter for Indonesian English, and speakers are needed for this. So like legal, medical, technical documents, you can translate. You can be a content writer, editor. There's websites. You can make websites, social media, and articles and blogs online. You can work online with your English. Customer service, if you want to work maybe in a call center, or if you want to work with a company in customer service, it's 100% sure like English is going to be super important if you have any kind of business that is dealing with international things, okay? So digital media, marketing, social media, you have aviation, you want to work in transport. You can also work in an NGO, development agency, global companies. If you want to be a politician, you have to speak English, okay? You want to work in politics, you want to work maybe in the university, you want to teach English at university level, or even you want to research, you want to go to travel abroad to be in another university, of course, like you're going to use English, okay? So that's why I think English is so important in this sector. So finally, about the first part, I'm going to conclude by using this Malaysian study, because this has been a study that's been done in Malaysia in 2018, where they asked many employers and many students the importance of having English. So this is like the opinion of the bosses, but also the opinion of employees and students. So the result of the study say that English language is used as a gatekeeping tool in so many areas, okay? This means that the employers are using English as the factor whether you're going to get the job or not. So if you have the good English level, then they're going to put your resume on the pile on the right of the people who can access to the job. If you have the bad English level, automatically they will say, no, I don't want this one, throw out, okay? So this means that if you have English level, you already get into the good pile, right? And this why English is considered like a passport to employment. And it's crucial for multinational corporations especially. And this is because English is seen as very important for the reputation of the organization. Because if my employees speak English, it makes my organization look better. and it enhances the reputation of my organization. When the international clients are coming to visit, my employees can have a conversation in English with them. When the international people are calling the company, they can talk in English with them, okay? So that's very important for an organization in today's world. And the best is you only have to be competent, okay? It doesn't matter, like they don't want you necessarily for your English to be perfect, but it's important that you are able to communicate, that you are able to speak with people and have interaction with them, and that you are able to understand, okay? So that's the most important thing. And then yeah, like be careful. Sometimes maybe like you have a very strong accent, people cannot understand you. So it's okay to have an accent. I have an accent. Everybody has an accent, okay? The most important thing is people understand what you're talking about. And then finally, it's important also for you guys to be aware of the context, okay? So formal, informal, like depending on the situation, you're not going to use the same language as if you're talking to a friend on the street, or you're talking to the boss of the company. Maybe you're going to change your language, and that's important for the employers also. And other than that is you have to be confident. So you have to practice a lot with speaking English with foreigners. If you have like some friends who want to practice English, practice is going to make you more confident, guys. Sorry. Okay. So did you want to say something? I'm sorry.
No, I think it was just someone who
Okay,
was talking. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I'm not used to making online things like this. So sometimes I like what's going to happen. Okay.
No, it's okay. It happens.
Yeah. So yeah, basically practice will definitely help your level of confidence. So if you want to make a job interview or anything like that, you can practice with some other people. It's going to make you more confident. And then the importance of the soft skills. This is also very important. There's a lot of material you can read about soft skills. You can read about social skills. You can read about this, and you can practice your social skills. This is going to be very important in the workplace. Like employers are looking for that. They want positive people. They want people who are able to talk to each other, right? And the positive attitude and general knowledge, right? So that's the conclusion from the study in Malaysia that was done about importance of English. And now I'm going to give you some data on the salaries and the jobs for English learners. So this is the power of English, okay? It means that you have a better chance of getting a job in all sectors. In any sector that you want to work on, your chances of getting hired are better if you speak good English. And 90% of the senior executives, that means the top CEOs in multinational corporation, 90% of them believe that English is important, very essential for professional success. So that's a lot of very high-ranking people who believe that. And a strong English proficiency is 2 times more likely to be hired for the international exposure job. So that means you have a lot more chance to get hired. And good English skills, they help you to access the higher level position in almost any organization. Like I said earlier, if you want to be the boss, I don't know about you, like, but I like to climb the ranks, right? I like to go to the top. So if you want to be on the top, then English is going to be super useful. That's 100% sure. Okay. So effective communication and networking, that's also one of the things like we sometimes forget. But if you want to have a successful career, networking is one of the most powerful things that you can do. You need to have friends. You need to talk to people. That's how you get the best jobs. That's how you get the highest position, because you have a friend and you have a friend there, you have a friend there. So that's one of the most effective ways that you can improve your career, by doing networking. And it just so happens that English will help you to create interprofessional networks and collaboration. right? The only reason I'm a speaker here today is because my English level is good, right? And the only reason I know my friend Uswa, or I know anybody like in Indonesia, when I go to Indonesia, I talk to so many people and I have so many friends and I have so many network, right? But because I can speak English, it's the same in Vietnam. Also because I can speak English, any country I go to, when I make some friends, I make some network, I'm speaking English. So that means like 65% of the employers, they rated English communication as the most important factor when hiring a new employee. That's in Europe, okay? 65% of the employers in European Commission, they rated English as the most important factor. So this means it's super important. And networking is also crucial for career advancement. So we all know that, okay? Like that's how you can use your English and your soft skills and all that to make friends. I always give the example of why I know Uswa, because like 5 years ago, I was sitting on a bus to go to Laos and I talked to the person next to me and we just have a conversation. And she said to me, okay, give me your Facebook. And then I got the Facebook, and 4 years later, this person invited me to go to Indonesia to talk about my experience, right? That's how you make contacts. You never know. That's why you need to be kind to people and you need to talk to them, and use English is the best way, especially in international context. Okay. So, and then finally, like access to knowledge and education, of course. Okay. English is a #1 language in education, research, innovation in the world. So it gives you access to the higher education program and the courses, and globally, the most prestigious universities, the best universities in the world, they use English. If you want to get the top degree, the specialized training, okay, it's in English. High quality online educational resource. That means even the courses online, the best courses available, they're mostly in English. The tutorial, webinar, forum, everything, you can access a lot of information. The top quality information is going to be in English. So if you want to be an expert, you want to stay up to date in your field, any field you work on, okay, English is going to be useful for you, because the scientific community is using English to collaborate, okay? So that means that if someone, scientist from China, scientist from Vietnam, scientists from Japan, scientists from the United States, they are working together, what language they're going to use? They're not going to use Japanese. They're not going to use Korean, okay? They're going to use English, because that's how we collaborate in the world today. That's by using English. And finally, salary and financial impact. The studies have consistently found that the stronger English skill are linked to higher salary, okay? So that means like if you have a stronger English skills, you are more chance to have the higher salary. Average, the good non-native speakers, they earn average 30% more than others, okay? And this is especially true in the multinational companies. So this means that knowing English will open more and better career opportunities for you. And yeah, so this is only the part, this part about English teaching. So basically, I'm going to skip this part very fast. All I want to say is that the global market for English teaching right now is going up super fast. So it means you can get, I want to say that, like, you can get a job teaching English in a lot of different countries. And the global digital teaching, it means that you can teach English online and you can make good money even from Indonesia. If you're teaching in a country like China or Vietnam, you can find a job online and you can make a good money by teaching English. And this is going to skip this one. Okay. How much time do I have left, Uswa, do you know?
Maybe you should ask the moderator.
Oh, I'm sorry. How much
That's
time,
okay. You're
left?
just used to asking everything to me, I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because the time is longer. It's still longer. Okay, you still have a time.
Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit more then. This is about, also I want to share with you some opportunities if you want to practice English. There's a lot of volunteer opportunities you can use. Probably even you can find in Indonesia some organizations that need volunteer and that can interact with the foreigners or something like that. So you can also create your own volunteer opportunities. Maybe like you want to create an English club, and you can post it online and invite some people to join your English club. So yeah, for me, like one of the best things that I've done in my life was to participate in volunteer opportunities like that. It's going to help you get a lot of chance to meet a lot of people. And so there's some websites I posted here: helpex.com, workaway.com. So basically, like, talk to people. That's the reason why I'm here. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the story of one of my friends and one of my students. So this is to give you a little bit of an idea about the power of English in a personal story. So this is my friend Champion. Let's just call him like that. And he's from a very poor area of central Vietnam. So basically, his parents could not read and they could not write. They were both farmers. And he grew up in this very poor family. And basically, they didn't even have enough money to give him food. So that's why he became very thin like that. He didn't have enough food to eat. And but all his life, I mean, he very soon in his life, he realized the power of English. And he wanted to use English to get out of poverty and to have the better future for himself and for his family. So yeah, he was collecting honey in the forest, and they were living like farmers in the rice fields. But he was really willing to work hard and to learn English. So he decided to take some courses, and like he started online by watching some YouTube videos. And he went to the English clubs in his school. He always worked like super hard, whatever the chance. Anytime that he had some free time, he was using it to improve his English level. And I witnessed this because I even lived with him sometimes. And every time I didn't have anything to do, he was always on YouTube watching some English tutorial or something like that, or reading a book. Always, all the time, he was learning English. So because he understands that English is like a key. And when you have it, you can open so many doors, right? So many years of hard work and study. And of course, like, I met him because he was one of my students. So he participated also in English courses, English classes, and university. And he made friends when there was a foreigner, like, who speak English. He always tried to make friends with them and add them on social network, and then talk to them and like call them and practice English with them and all that. So yeah, that was his way. And he continued his studies. He was able to get scholarship from the government. So he was a very serious student, and he studied very hard. So he got scholarship for engineering degree. He got his bachelor's in engineering. And finally, he's got his master's degree in engineering hydraulic system. So that's me and him at his graduation ceremony last year when he got his master's degree. And so I think it's pretty cool because both of his parents cannot read or write, but he was able to master English and master also engineering. And finally, he's working now for INGO. So this means International Non-Governmental Organization. And that's him in Indonesia last year in 2022 for accelerating battery electric vehicle national workshop in Indonesia. So you can see, like, he got to travel the world. He's using both his professional background, but also his English to work in many different countries. So now he's working on reducing the pollution levels in Vietnam and in Southeast Asia. His salary is 5 times higher than the national average in Vietnam. So it means, like, he studied very hard, he learned English, and now look, he's having a very good position. So he got to travel to Indonesia, Germany, a trip to the US next. And he really loves his jobs, and he gets to meet the high-ranking people from the government and official, and he's doing some meaningful work. So I'm very proud of him. And that's what I want to tell you today. This is the story of my friend, right, of my student. But he come from a very poor background. It's very hard for him, you know, like he had to work so hard and to master English and to also get the master's degree in engineering. But it means that if he's able to do that, you can also do it. But the key is that you have to be consistent and you have to put in the effort and you have to work hard. And then you can get the higher position and you can get the better salary and all that. You can work on your career, but it's hard work. And that's why I wanted to show you, like, because my friend, I think, is a very success story. So I wanted to give you an example about that. So basically, like, I want you to never stop learning and always push your limits, okay? When it hurts, when it's hard, that's when you know that you're growing, right? Because I personally, I like to go to the gym, okay? I like to do exercise. And when I know like my muscle is hurting and it's so hard, you know, and then I know that, okay, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting better, right? Because it hurts, because it's hard. And that's why English, it's like the same thing. Like when you're growing your English muscle, or when you're growing your social muscle, sometimes it feels a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe you're shy, you don't want to speak in public or something like that. Don't hesitate, just do it. It's going to be hard, but it's gonna get better. So yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you today. And I hope that I could motivate you a little bit to learn English. And if you have any questions for me later, I will be happy to answer your questions as best as I can. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening to my presentation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. William, for very insightful knowledge and information for us. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Okay, next, I would like to invite you to our second speaker today, Ms. Uswatun Hasanah, M.Pd. Ms. Uswatun Hasanah is English lecturer, a BIPA for Indonesia bagi penutur asing teacher, a certified high-leverage teaching practices consultant from Ohio University. Various English training for both student and English teacher and motivation training for youth. More than 10 years of experience as an English teacher and 10 years of experience as a public speaker. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Uswatun Hasanah, M.Pd.
All right. Okay, can you hear my voice clearly?
Clearly, yeah.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Ibu Siti Hana, as the moderator for today. Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing fine. First of all, I would like to say thank you so much for having us, William and I, Honorable Director of Tansa Mashiro, and also all of the deans from all of the faculties from Tansa Mashiro. And then also Honorable the Head of English Education Department of Tansa Mashiro. Thank you again for having us. This is such an honor for us to be here at the first international webinar of Tansa Mashiro University. Yeah, hold on. All right. So yeah, earlier William has already exposed you to a lot of opportunities by mastering English, and now this is my turn. I will be talking about how to get scholarship abroad. So guys, I'm sure this is gonna be very exciting because we know that nowadays there are more opportunities for you to study abroad, and then obviously English is one of the keys, okay, to get that opportunity. Yeah, can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, that's perfect. Okay, look, I look like Nyi Roro Kidul, right? Nyi Blorong or something like that. All right, so this is, hold on a second, let me make it bigger. Okay, so this is who I am, you know? So it's just like the song, the Alan Walker song. This is who I am, all right? So earlier, our moderator has already introduced me to all of you guys, but this is the moment that I will never forget. Look at that, 2011 and 2021. After literally a decade, after literally 10 years, I could make it again. I could bring myself again to the same place. Guys, if you ask me how does that feel, it's just still indescribable. You know, because it's after literally 10 years, you know, so it feels like at the time I felt it was impossible for me to come back again to the US, because then I got married, I got pregnant, I gave birth, I had to raise my kids, you know. But this is me. Once I have a dream and I, for example, get stuck on some situations are not possible for me to reach my dream at the time, I never throw my dreams. Instead, I save them in a safe place, because I believe there will be always times for everyone. I believe there will be always time for me to achieve my other dreams. Yeah. So in 2011, this is my first time to get a scholarship in Virginia Tech, Virginia. It was a short course scholarship. And 2021, I had an opportunity to come back through Fulbright scholarship, namely FLTA, Foreign Language Teaching Assistant. So I was assigned to teach Bahasa Indonesia at Ohio University. So guys, I was a docent at Ohio University teaching Bahasa Indonesia. That's very amazing, right? Like, I felt like a hero, guys. Like, I felt like I was fighting for our countries, because I was representing Indonesia over there. Every time I wanted to, you know, teach, I felt like, oh my God, I would go to a battlefield where my students will ask a lot of questions about Indonesia. So yeah, that's my latest what we call experience in the US. All right. So I would like to ask you guys, who wants to study abroad? Who wants to study abroad? Anyone wants to share? Does anyone want to study abroad? I'm not going to continue until someone say yes. Oh yeah, someone raises her hands. Thank you very much. Okay, oh, a lot of you guys. I know. This is gonna be so exciting and fun if we are doing it in person, right? But I'm sure we can still make it very exciting as well through this online. All right. So yeah, I believe there. Oh, thank you so much for raising your hands, guys. I really appreciate it. Yeah, of course, I know. There are many people who want to study abroad, but sometimes they keep you know, questioning, how can I do that? Can I do that? Is it possible for me to do that? Of course, it's possible for you. Look at me. If you guys know, I am just someone from Baros, you know. Baros is in Serang Regency. Of course, you know, I am just from Baros, guys, but I could make it. I could make it twice to the US, and it was US, you know, like one of the most difficult country to visit. But I could make it, and I am definitely sure that you can make it too. All right, so bear with me. I'm going to talk in details about how you get that opportunities as well. Okay, guys, there are some scholarships here. Are you familiar with these scholarships? So the first one, we have Australia Awards here, obviously from the name of the scholarship, the destination will be in Australia. And then we have also Fulbright. Fulbright is a worldwide scholarship. You know, it is offered in all over the world. You know, if you are familiar with LPDP, for example, this is very famous because this is like LPDP, as we can call it as a local program from our government. But Fulbright is very famous around the world. That's what that's the program that I joined last year at Ohio University. I went there through Fulbright scholarship. Once you become a Fulbrighter, people will know who you are. It's like so surprising. When I was there, I had so many people ask me some questions like, Uswa, under what program are you here? And I said like, oh, I am here under Fulbright program. Then they are so shocked. They were so shocked, like, oh my God, it means that you are so smart. Well, I'm not smart. Maybe I'm just lucky. You know, it's because Fulbright is very well known around the world. So people was like, oh my God, you're a Fulbrighter. Yeah, all right. So also we have the so-called Turkey Bursary scholarship. We call it YTB in Indonesia. It's a scholarship for from Turkish government where you can study your undergraduate, your master's, and your doctoral degree in Turkey. And then we have the chevening here. You know, guys, chevening is only for a master's degree, which is located in the UK. Yeah. So yeah. All right. So here I am. How to get a scholarship overseas. We will start talking about the ways how to get these great opportunities to be able to study abroad in other countries. Yeah, guys, disclaimer, there are so many pictures which are not related actually to the material. I just want to show you that this is the Capitol building in the US. Why I told you this? Because I didn't know that when I was in your age. You know, maybe you know it, but I believe that some of you do not know this. This is the Capitol building. Capitol building is different from the White House, okay? This is the place where the parliament do some discussion in this building. So if you go to Washington, D.C., inshallah, one day, one of you or some of you or maybe all of you will go there. Who knows? Don't forget to take picture here. Okay, when you want to take picture, please concern about your background. Don't only focus on your face. Your face is going to be the same everywhere. I know it's hilarious, but it's so true. So when you take the picture in front of this building, you do not have to put any caption at Washington DC. Oh, no, you don't have to put that. People know where it is. Okay, that's an intermezzo. Okay, don't be too serious. Okay, so this is the step of applying the scholarship. You've got to start early. Why? Because sometimes the time of the opening to the closing, maybe we feel that we have a lot of times to prepare the application, but in fact there are so many there are so many requirements, especially related to the documents. So that's why it is very necessary for you to start early when you try to do your application. Yeah, there will be some recommendation letters, for example, and it's going to be dealing with other people. Yeah, we cannot always ensure that they will be there for us when we need them. Maybe they will be busy. And then also related to other, hold on a second. I think it's because of the, see. I think my, hold on. Bu Siti Hana, my screen is a little bit weird, right?
There's something on your camera actually. It's blurry.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why. But I look like an alien, right? I don't like it.
It's really though.
I think it's a ghost, Uswa.
Yeah, it looks like a ghost, guys.
That's normal, I think.
But no, it's fine, right? Okay. Just let me know when the ghost comes back. So that I will read ayat kursi. Yeah, William doesn't know what ayat kursi is. Okay, so guys, we have to start early because there will be a lot of requirements that you have to prepare, yeah, for applying the scholarship. We will be checking on them later on. Okay, the second one, you have to check the eligibility, okay, because some of the programs, they have very detailed requirements, okay? So checking the eligibility, make sure that you are eligible and qualified for the program is very essential. Yeah, for me, I myself, for the latest program that I joined, which was Fulbright, see the ghost comes back, I do not know why.
I think
Hold on a second, it's really, no, it's because I am, can I just turn on my camera and just talk?
okay, it's okay, I think.
Yeah, all right. I think that's gonna be better because it distracts me a lot. Like, okay, I don't want to look like a ghost though.
Okay, take your time. It's okay.
Sorry, guys. All right, so you've got to check the eligibility. I myself prepared for my latest application for the whole 1 year. Oh, wow, that's a lot of time. Yes, because I wanted to make sure that I am eligible for this program. For example, some programs require you to have like experience in certain field because it is related to BIPA, Bahasa Indonesia bagi penutur asing. So of course, I had to prepare at least a certificate related to my experience attending BIPA training, for example. So I wanted to make sure that I am eligible once I apply, that I get it. You know what I mean? That's why we have to start early when we are preparing for the application. Okay, and then the next one is prepare required documents. Okay, so we have to prepare required documents. There are a lot of them, and we will be talking about it. Okay, secure letters of recommendation. Guys, I know this picture is not related to the material, but it's just for the intermezzo section. Look at me, I am just on the tree. Do I look like monkey? It's on the cherry blossoms tree. So if people said like, oh, I take picture with the cherry blossom. Nope. I took picture on the cherry blossom tree. All right, so that's me. That's one of my biggest achievement when I was in the US. All right, let's go to secure letters of recommendation. Guys, there are some misconceptions about a recommendation letter. Some people think that the higher position the referees are, the more chances for you to get accepted. So people try to get the recommendation letter from people who have higher position, like for example, Ketua DPRD, or maybe President, or maybe Ministry of Education, I don't know, Pak Nadiem Makarim, for example. No, they do not need people who have higher position, but they need people who know you really, really well, you know? So in this case, the referees can be your teachers, your lecturers, your supervisors. So don't think about contacting people. Maybe your father knows someone like in government, and you think like, oh, maybe if I get the recommendation letter from this person, I will have higher opportunity to get accepted. No, you are so wrong. That's why it is very important to maintain your silaturahim, your networking with your lecturers, even after you graduate. Okay, it's not only for securing the letters of recommendation, it's just the bonus. It just, guys, it's feel weird when, for example, you have graduated and then you do not have any contact at all with your lecturers, and then suddenly you just come just to ask their helps. You know what I mean? Well, we are, as lecturers, we are okay, right, Bu Hana? We are always okay. We are so happy. Yeah, you're right. We are so happy when our students come to us, ask for help, especially asking us to, like write some recommendation letter for them to apply some scholarships. We are more than happy, But the thing is, like, al-adabu fawqal ilmi, right? So adab first, the attitude, the manner is first. Yeah, the manner comes first. And it will make you more comfortable to contact your lecturers as well if you are maintaining the communication with them. All right, so bear in mind, you do not have to find people who have high position to get the recommendation letter. Just ask someone who knows you really, really well, who can explain your personality, your achievement, and then your hard working, for example. Okay. Okay, so another required documents will be some like certificate of language proven, like TOEFL or IELTS. Okay, so guys, we have TOEFL, we have IELTS. I think you are guys familiar with TOEFL teaching, test of English as foreign language. This is the product which is released or published by American government. So obviously the accent and everything will be an American style and American English. Different from TOEFL, we have IELTS, International English Language Testing System. It is published by British government. So the most challenging part, especially for me here, is in the listening section. because you know British accent is quite challenging for some people. Yeah, especially when you are not used to listening to British accent. It sounds like kumur kumur, especially. Yeah, it's just like murmuring, you know, especially when it comes to posh British accent, you know. So yeah, we have TOEFL and IELTS here. Well, let's just talk about TOEFL. Guys, we have two kind of TOEFL, at least. The first one is ITP, the second one is IBT. The ITP is paper-based TOEFL, even though currently, alhamdulillah, we have the online platform as well for doing TOEFL ITP, but it used to be TOEFL-based paper, you know, paper-based TOEFL, I meant, yeah. We have two kind of TOEFL. So the ITP, okay, is like we can get it only for paying 550,000 rupiah, but for the IBT, it costs about 3 million per test. Okay, why is that different? The IBT TOEFL and IELTS are around at the same level, but the TOEFL ITP is much easier. So the question is, can we apply the scholarship abroad, especially in the US, by using TOEFL ITP? Yes, you can. But you can apply by using TOEFL ITP certificate only for the preliminary stage, for the selection in our country. But once you get accepted as the candidate of the scholarship, you will have to take either TOEFL IBT or IELTS to apply to the universities in the US or in other countries. So basically, we can use the TOEFL ITP to get the scholarship, but once you get selected, once you want to apply to the universities abroad, you will have to get your TOEFL IBT or IELTS certificate to get accepted in these universities. Guys, this is the most challenging part because we have to prepare the time, the target, okay? Because I myself am still struggling doing IELTS, you know, so I mean, we need more time to prepare. That's why we have to start early when we want to apply for some scholarship. Okay. The next required documents that you have to attach on your application is personal statement or motivation letter. How to write a strong personal statement? It has to be related to your life, your experience. I know, guys, when you go abroad, when you get scholarship abroad, you want to travel, right? Of course, who doesn't want to? But don't ever share that intention on your motivation letter. Don't tell them that, oh, I am applying for this scholarship because I want to travel. Hello. Okay, there is no way they will accept you. You do not have to say that. It's a bonus. Of course, you will travel, darling. You will definitely travel when you get there. Yeah, so please write something which is more meaningful and impactful so that they think, oh yeah, you are the right candidate to get the scholarship. Okay. Okay, and then guys, that was the I'm just going to share you a little bit about this picture. Look at me. It was in summer, and guys, summer in the US was super hot. It was super hot. It was like 40 something degree maybe. All right. So we had an invitation to go for paddling, mendayung, all right? And I went there with my outfit like I was going to go to pengajian. Whether other people, they wear very short, you know, outfit, of course, because it was winter. And then the funniest part was when the committee stared at me, you know, he was like, "Are you coming for paddling?" You know, and I said, "Of course I am." Yeah, I know. He was like, "Oh my God, I think he was like saltum ya, salah kostum." So yeah, okay, that's just an intermezzo again. All right, no, guys, we have a lot of scholarships even from our government. Yeah, you've got to explore government scholarships. We have LPDP, and then the LPDP also has some of the branches, let's say, but I'm just going to talk about the regular and BIB. Regular LPDP program is offered for everyone, even though they have some details requirements in it, but I'm going to also talk about BIB, Beasiswa Indonesia Bangkit. It is offered by Ministry of Religious Affairs, ya, Kemenag. Ini dari Kemenag, teman-teman. It is specially designed for alumni from universities universities which are under Kemenag. So it's a great opportunity if you guys want to apply for BIB, because it means that the competition is not that wide, because you are only competing with people who graduate from like Kemenag universities, you know. So yeah. And then also search for university scholarships. Guys, this is happening. There are so many people who, once they go abroad and study abroad, they don't want to come back to their respective countries because they feel comfortable. For example, people keep asking, Uswa, why do you even come back? It's very hard for you to go to the US. And then why don't you just stay there? You can make good money over there. And I said, I wish I could stay. But the thing is, once we get the scholarship from government, we have the contract. We have to sign a contract that we must come back to our respective countries after the completion of our program. If you do not come back, it's a violation. You have to give the money back to them. And I don't think we can afford that because the money was gone. You know what I mean? So guys, if you are into living like in other countries for so long and live over there, you know, earn money, have job over there, maybe find your soulmate, I don't know, maybe, who knows, right? So it's better for you to just apply for the scholarship in the universities in that countries. How to do that? You just open their websites. They offer a lot of scholarships for you guys. And then guess what? You will get paid. The payment is not even like monthly payment. They pay you every 2 weeks. So it's very good. You get a scholarship, you have the opportunity to study, and also you get paid every 2 weeks. And it's more than enough. At least that's what I heard from my own friend when I was in the US. She was from Vietnam. She got the scholarship from Ohio University because she applied through the website, and she got the scholarship for studying master's degree, and she got paid as well. And the payment is very handsome, you know. So yeah. Guys, if you see my picture here, this is only pemanis ya, but bukan pemanis buatan, sodium. Yeah, this is what I'm going to show you. I look like Nurul Kidul again. This is after the photo shoot of for the magazine. Oh my God, I was a superstar. Yeah, it's because they were interested in knowing more about Indonesian culture. So the girl who was with me, she is a journalist at our university. She emailed me. She told me that she wanted to know more about Indonesia. And then she interviewed me, talking a lot about Indonesian cultures. And then the next day, she asked me to wear my traditional outfit, you know, for the magazine. And look at that, guys. It was winter. I was freezing, you know. It was just for the photo shoot. After that, I wore my you know, winter coat again. All right. Okay. So all right, that's very good. Guys, if you think that, look at me. It was in 2011. I look so cute, right? Yeah, I used to be Imut. Now I am Amit. Yeah, Amit 2 times. Yeah. All right. So, guys, if you feel this way, I don't like studying abroad for too long, but I want to experience studying abroad. Oh, don't worry. There are so many programs, students exchange program that you can apply, you know. So like, for example, the first program that I joined, this one, when I was in undergraduate program, it was only for 1 semester. Yeah, it was a short course learning about culture and language. So yeah, we have also, guys, the so-called MOSMA. Okay, MOSMA, Global U Grad, CCIP, International KKN, IISMA. We have a lot of like programs offer like for a short period of time experiencing the study abroad. If you feel like I don't want to leave my home, my mama doesn't allow me to study abroad because it's going to be taking like too much time, for example, you can also apply for the short course programs. Okay, now we are talking about most common eligibilities. Okay, actively involved in an organization, guys. Okay, I really hope, guys, that most of you here, you are joining some organization at your universities. Why? Because mostly the scholarships, they do not only want to get like a brilliant students with good GPA. I'm not saying that having good GPA 3.5 or even 4 is not important. I'm not saying about that. But it is not enough for you to get the scholarship. Yeah, why? Because like the scholarship provider, they would like to know whether you are involved in an organization or not. Why is it important to get involved in some organizations? Because they will know your quality. We have the soft skill and the hard skill. Hard skills are only the things that you learn in the classroom, but soft skill, like your adaptability, the way you encounter differences, the way you show your attitude toward differences, it is not learned in a classroom, but it is learned through the organization. That's why, guys, I really encourage you to start joining some, like organizations or, some, I don't know, if you are interested in writing, you can find writing organization, for example. It is to prove that you are adaptable enough to certain situation. And then related previous experience. Think about the major that you want to apply. If you are, guys, like from English education department, then of course you have to apply to like a field that is still related to your study background or to your experience. Okay, and then also language requirements. Guys, trust me, this is the most challenging part, because there are so many people who wants to apply for the scholarship. There are so many opportunities, but they are not ready yet. Why? Mostly they do not have the TOEFL certificate or IELTS certificate yet. So please be prepared for the language requirement, because this is, like William said, English is a passport, and then TOEFL or IELTS is a passport for you to get into scholarship and universities abroad. Okay, guys, this is I'm going to show you this. Rome wasn't built in a day. Yeah, this is a very famous saying or quote. Rome wasn't built in a day. It means that success doesn't come in a sudden. It takes time. We need process to be successful. I've been starting my journey since I was in senior high school. This is me when I was studying at senior high school. Yeah, I was really active in joining a lot of opportunities, a lot of competitions. I was preparing myself to be like this right now. So I am who I am right now was because of my choice when I was in the past, So, and then this is very hilarious. The Uswatun yang kepingin jadi Ustazah Wan, teman-teman. I have a certain story about this. I got this. I won pelajar Muslim teladan tingkat provinsi Lampung, and you know what? One of the rewards was I was free to choose any university in Indonesia. So that was one of the reward. Did I take it? No, I didn't take it. Why? Because I always wanted to be an ustazah. William Ustazah is a preacher. So I always want to be an ustazah. And then when my teacher asked me, Nang, what university do you want to go? I said, no, I don't want to go to university. And I was like, why? But it's free. It's your reward from the competition. I said, because I want to be an ustazah. Guys, I was very narrow-minded. Jadi pikiran Miss Uswa dulu itu sangat sempit sekali. I used to think that if people want to be ustad or ustazah, you do not go to university, but you go to pesantren. You know, and then I told them I don't want to go to university, but I want to go to pesantren because I want to be an ustazah. And then my teacher said, of course you still can be an ustazah even though you go to university, and it's going to be cool if you have title like for example M.Pd or doctor, ustazah, whatever. And you know what I told them? I do not need any title in front of human being. Nggak butuh tuh yang namanya titel di hadapan manusia. Mantep kali siswa dulu ya. It's because I really wanted. It's proven. Even in my newspaper here, they say Uswatun yang kepingin jadi ustazah. Because I always want to go to pesantren. Did I go to university? No. I never, guys, I never saw my future like in university. I always wanted to go to pesantren. Then yes, I didn't take the award. I didn't take the reward from my competition. I went to pesantren to Lewiliang. I only learned about Kitab Kuning because I am so into Kitab Kuning. Nahwu and Sorof, I am in love with them. You know, yes, I didn't go to university. Then I went to Lewiliang to study Amil, Alfiyah, yeah, something like that. And then why? Then Miss Uswa go to America. Why? That's Allah's plan. Guys, we are human beings. We can plan all of the things, but Allah will finally decide what is best for us. If you cannot reach your dreams, don't think that, oh my God, this is very bad to me. No, Allah prepare something much better than you do. You know, I always wanted to be an ustazah. Maybe I wanted to go to Egypt or Makkah, you know. Then I go to America. I do not have any basic at all about that. You know, that's Allah's plan, right? So yeah, it's a long story. Uswatun juara pidato bahasa Inggris. This is also my newspapers. Oh my God, I was so famous, yeah, and I was so famous just because I couldn't speak English. Imagine if I couldn't speak English, I wouldn't be that famous, guys. Yeah, I don't think I can do anything else. I just speak English like this. But like William says, if you are speaking English fluently, there are so many doors open for you, so many opportunities, right? So yeah. Okay, guys, welcome to Ibu Hana, Ibu Siti Hana.
Yeah.
How much time do I have?
You still have 20 minutes left.
All right. That means I still have time.
Okay.
Guys, okay, the next stage is interview stage. Okay, after you send your applications, yeah, writing a strong personal statement, also give them some like reference letters, mostly like they need two, 3 recommendation letters, and then also your language certificate, and then also your essays. When you apply to the scholarship, okay, they will email you if you are chosen to the interview stage. They will email, congratulations. Yeah, you are invited to the interview stage. Yeah, so welcome to the interview stage, guys. It means that you are one step closer, okay, to your destination. Yeah, like a song. One step, closer. Okay, everyone. Yeah, okay. All right. So this is the thing. In the interview stage, guys, they will ask you, tell me about yourself. They want to know who you are. But please bear in mind, remember, they ask you, tell me about yourself, but please don't talk about your personal life. Yeah, they don't want to know that. Okay, talk about something that you have achieved in your life. It's like more in a professional ways, you know? The question, Miss, can I talk about my hobby? Yes, you can. But think about hobby which is related to the application, you know? Or, Miss, can I talk about my personality? Yes, you can. Think about the personality which is related to the application. For example, this is the way I introduce myself. I am Uswatun Hasanah. I am known as very energetic people. I I am into socializing to people. That's why I apply for this scholarship, because I believe that in this scholarship, I can socialize well with people, I can meet new people, learn new knowledge, something like that, you know? So something which is related to the application, for example. Okay, and then for example, when it was the last time I applied for the scholarship, because it was for teaching. So I mentioned about my teaching experience. I've been teaching English for more than 10 years. That's why I believe that my experience will help me to deal with the situation, because I've been facing students from different levels, for example. So tell me about yourself doesn't mean they want to know how many siblings you have, okay? What like hobbies you have, like singing, for example. You cannot say that. You can say that just only if it's related, okay? So yeah, next, strength and weaknesses. Of course, guys, they will also ask you, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Guys, okay, we can easily say about our strength, but our weaknesses, please be careful. This has to be a fixable weaknesses. Ya, kekurangan yang bisa diperbaiki. Ya, for example, don't say like my weakness, one of my weaknesses is I am lazy. Come on, guys. Everyone is lazy, but you do not have to say that. Yeah. So for example, I myself say this. If people ask me, Uswa, what is your weakness? I said, my weakness is I am less creative when I am doing the project individually. I took a psychological test when I was in senior high school, and the result was I am an affiliative person. It means that I work at my best version when I am in group. So I am less creative when I have to work individually. But I know how to overcome it. The way I overcome it is I try to search some references, how to be creative. So something like that. So you have to show them. And for example, one of my weaknesses as well is I speak too fast when I am teaching. So I can tell them as well. Okay, so one of my weaknesses is I tend to speak really fast when I am teaching, and I am well aware of it. The way I overcome it, I always put a sticky note in front of my laptop to remind me, Uswa, speak slowly. So the interviewers will see that you are well aware of yourself, you know yourself better, and you know how to overcome it. How you know how to fix your weakness, you know? So it's not like I am lazy, or maybe I am unorganized, something like that. What if I do not know the answer? Guys, this is a very common questions when you are in the interview stage. When the interviewer asks you some questions, of course, if you do not know the answer, you cannot just simply say, I'm sorry, I don't know. No, it is not acceptable. Yeah, you can say, for example, I never heard about it, but, okay, think about something which is related to the questions. But I know something about something else related to the question. Okay, for example, do you know the TPR technique, or do you know what is the latest technique for teaching? And then they mention certain technique, maybe HLTP. You know what HLTP is in teaching languages? So yes, you do not know, but don't say it loudly that you do know. You can say, oh, I never heard about that, but I know some other techniques or methodologies that we can apply to teach English. For example, so you give an example of other techniques. So the answers has to be related to the questions. Yeah, okay. Don't be afraid of failure. Okay, most people, they are too afraid of failed. You know, when they want to apply, they feel like, oh my God, what if I do not get accepted? I know, God, you will feel frustrated when you get rejected. Yes, it is true, it happens. But the thing is, guys, for me, my motto is always like this.
Yeah, for sure. Like if anybody has a question, I can answer while we wait for Uswa. Yeah.
Okay, then good. Okay, for all the participants who want to ask a question, please raise your hand, or maybe you can type your question on the comment section. It's okay?
Yeah. I think we have Nadila.
Okay, Nadila. Nadila, you can directly ask your question.
Okay. Firstly, good morning, Mr. William.
Good morning.
Yeah, I have two questions.
Yeah.
The first is, do you have any memorable or unforgettable experience when you study or even when you teach English? And for the second question is, do you have any tips for us how to speak English confidently? Because we are not a language, because we are not an English native speaker, so I think we need some tips to speak English more confident. That's all, Mister. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So first question about memories. Yeah, of course, I have so many unforgettable memories, especially since I taught English in Vietnam for most part. So it was the first time when I came there, and I met so many different students. So I think English teaching is so exciting because you get to meet, at least in my experience, I got to meet so many people from different backgrounds. So I got to meet like as much as university students. I met like some business people. I met some nurses. I met some doctors. So I was working with mostly university students and adults. So yeah, and often they would even invite me into their hometown. So I would travel with them to visit their hometowns, and we would do like some activities together. So I always try to make fun and make friends with my students. And even like because I was an international teacher, so I got to travel a lot. So yeah, that was really fun. And like for about the question about speaking confidently, I can only tell you about my own experience, because in my own experience, um, I was able to learn English. Mostly I was able to understand it because I watched a lot of English television, and I played a lot of English video games when I was a kid. So that's how I started to get interested into learning English, because I liked the TV programs that were in English. I found them more interesting than the ones that were in French. So I started to learn like that. But eventually I realized like okay, I have some English classes in school and I'm learning English by listening to all these things, but I'm not very confident. And how can I get more confident to talk in English? Because when I went to travel, I realized like, oh, it's so difficult to have a conversation. It's not the same thing as reading or listening. So one of the things that really helped me was first in my school there was some program where I could go and we could have conversation, and it was all English conversation. So it was kind of like English club, and we would just discuss about different topics and we would have to speak. So that really helped me to become more confident. And second thing also that helped me to be more confident was to travel. So I traveled to some different countries, and when you travel, you have no choice to speak English, because people they will not understand you. Like if you speak Bahasa Indonesia, so you have to force yourself. Like maybe you go to, for example, you travel in Malaysia or you travel to another country nearby, and then you will interact with people in English if you stay in a youth hostel, or if you stay in a place like that where there are many people, you go out and you participate in some events, then you can speak English. I think volunteering is also very good because you meet other people and you volunteer in English. So yeah, that really helped me to gain more confidence. But the key word is practice, right? So practice and you will feel more confident. That's what I think. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. What it is interesting. It's very
Yeah,
interesting.
thank you. Thank you.
Much, Mr. William. Is there any question for Mr. William, guys?
Me, Miss, may I ask something to Mr. William?
Yes, of course.
Sure.
Okay, Mr. William, okay, let me introduce my own self. I'm Rafid Fadesha, is the collegian of University of Latansa Mashiro. I'm gonna ask you something, Mr.
Yes.
Okay, sorry before it. We said that English is an important thing in every subject, yeah, especially to find a job or career. I think the question is, what is the main subject or the main subject in English which we use to discover or which we use to find a job or career, or maybe what are the main subject that become the benchmark for English as international language, especially if we have an opportunity to find a job or career, Mr.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I understand the question directly. So you want to know in which career is English the most important? Is that it?
Yes, sir. Like that.
I think, okay, so like I said in my presentation, English can be very important in any career. It depends, like the organization that you want to work for. So if you want to work on an international level in any career field, I think English is going to be very important. But it also depends where you want to work. So maybe you want to work in China in a very specialized field. Maybe you're better to learn Chinese, right? Or maybe you want to work in Japan where many people they don't speak English. So you have to do some research about what you want to do specifically, right? And because I know some people work in Japan and it's better for them to learn Japanese because the company that they work for, they ask them to learn Japanese. But what I mean by English is very important in almost any career path is that it opens a lot of doors everywhere in the world. So it's like a superpower basically, because even if you go to work in Japan and you can speak English, then you can interact with all of the other foreigners who are working in Japan there. So I think even if you don't specifically use English in your specific career, it's still going to be useful in your personal life, or it could still open other doors in your career, like parallel to this. But if there is like one career path in particular where English language is the most important, I couldn't really tell you, because it's really depend on the organization and where you want to work and all of that, right? So yeah, does that answer the question a little bit?
Yes, I thought I really understand about what his speech, Mr. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Rafid and Mr. William.
Yes, my
Next
pleasure,
question,
Miss.
guys.
I have, Miss.
Okay. Polisa. Yeah.
Yes,
Right? Okay. Your time.
Mr. William.
Hello.
Introduce myself. My name is Lisa. I am the last semester of Tansa University at Education English program. So my question is, you have shared a website how to be volunteer. So I want to ask, what is the tips or trick to be elected volunteer?
To be a good volunteer?
To be selected volunteer.
To be selected as a volunteer.
Is there a tip?
Oh, okay, oh, yeah. So you want to have some tricks to be selected as a volunteer, right?
That's the question.
Okay, good. So basically, I showed you like two websites. Like there is workaway.com and there is helpix.com. So on both of these websites and more, like most of the websites where you can make a profile to be volunteer, they will ask you to write your own profile. Okay, so maybe like you can put some pictures and you can like try to express what your interests and what are you interested in, you can go and browse the website and look at the different volunteer opportunities, and see which kind of volunteering you would like to do. Okay, because there's a lot of opportunities. There's for example, you could work as a receptionist in a hostel, or you could work like in a house to do some house cleaning. Like there's a lot of different opportunities that you could do, and most of the time they will also offer you like the free food and accommodation in exchange for a few hours of work, and then you will meet the other volunteers. So yeah, my tips for that would be like try to write an interesting profile. You can do some research online also to look at like how to write the best profile for workaway, or how to write a good profile for volunteering and stuff like that, and they will give you some tips and tricks more for the specific thing that you want to apply for. And then after that, it's just like be very polite with the person that that you want to apply for. You can send them a message and like say oh, my name is this, and like I'm very interested in this volunteering opportunity because I've always wanted to visit your country, and I think that this is a very interesting project. And basically, like, I'm going to give you a general tip about people, is that people will always find you more interesting if you are interested in them. So try to ask yourself questions about why is this person making this project, and why is that important for them, and try to get interested. Like, ask them some questions like what gave you the idea to make this project. And usually if you're interested into the thing that interests the person, and you ask them question about it, they will be super happy to talk about it, because they put a lot of energy in that. They put a lot of time, so that's their passion. So they want to talk about that. So if you get interested into that, then they will like you more. So that's a good trick about people in general and volunteer opportunities, I think. So does that answer the question a little bit?
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
So much, Lisa and Mr. William. We finally got Miss Uswah back.
So earlier I was talking about failure, right? So imagine that every one of us has the same shares of failing, right? Punya jatah kegagalan yang sama. Because what I believe is no one was born to be always successful, and vice versa. And no one also was born to be always failed. It means that we have exactly the same opportunities to be successful or to be a failure. So what I mean is, let's imagine I have 10 shares of failing. Ya, Miss Uswah mau pakai bahasa Indonesia sekarang. Miss Uswah punya 10 jatah kegagalan. Teman-teman juga punya 10 jatah kegagalan. Oke. Kalau kita tidak habiskan jatah gagal, apply gagal, itu teman-teman jatah kegagalannya akan tetap 10, nggak habis-habis. Makanya kalau Miss Uswah begini, menghadapi kegagalan itu Miss Uswah senang. When I applied and I get rejected, I am so happy. Why? Because I am counting my failures. Yeah, it means that, oh, I am getting closer to my success. Yeah, so this is very important, the attitude toward failure. Why? Because most of people, they are really afraid of getting rejected. Yes, rejection always hurts, I know. Yeah, but it is not the end of our lives. Try again. Yeah, get up and try again. Fail and apply again. Fail and apply again. Maybe the things that I shared on social media, for example, of course, that's my victory. Victory's history, but I never shared to people when I get rejected. Of course, I got a lot of rejections too. I failed so many times too. But what makes me different from other people is when I fail, I get up again. When I get rejected, I tried even harder. Yeah. So this is the thing. When you apply for the scholarship and you get rejected, okay, you are already in a better version of yourself. Why? Because you dare to challenge yourself to go out from your comfort zone. There are not many people who like to accept challenges in their lives. They feel like they their feeling of being uh too afraid of failing, mostly that kind of feeling stops them at the very first stage. Oh my god, I don't want to apply that. Maybe I will get rejected, before even they decide that. So you have to be thankful for yourself for being able to apply and then get rejected. Why? Because from that rejection, of course, you will be thinking about what is wrong with my application. Yeah, which part is the thing that I have to improve. Yeah, so you will think about it more, and then you will give it will give you more opportunities to dig more about the information that you need to fix. Okay, so guys, uh if you fail, you just need to try again. Ya, habiskan jatah gagalmu selagi muda. Kalau nggak dicoba terus gagal, berarti jatah gagalnya akan tetap sama. Ya, mending dihabiskan dari sekarang, nanti kesananya insya Allah sukses. Okay, I think that's all, Bu Siti Hana from me. We will be having a question and answer session after Ibu Nurul, okay?
Okay, thank you so
you.
much as well
Thank
for
you so
your
much.
inspiring
Yeah.
story. Yeah, very funny. Thank you so much for your
Yeah.
coming. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, lastly, I would like to invite you to our third speaker today, Ms. Nurul Afiyattena, M.Pd. Ms. Nurul is a lecturer of English Education Program at Tansa University, a member of International Youth Program, and become one of the internship teachers at Bantaran School in Thailand. Awardee of Interfaith International Conference at International Islamic University, Malaysia. She also wrote some English books and a member of Virtual Education Academy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Nurul Afiyattena, M.Pd.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, the Honorable Rector of Tansa Mashiro University, Dr. Haji Soleh MM, and the Honorable our speakers, Mr. William from University of Quebec, Canada, Mrs. Uswatun Hasanah. She is my inspiring senior. She is my senior, and I always admire her.
Thank you
And
so
now
much.
I finally get a seat together with her. And it is my honor. Thank you so much, Ms. Iswa, for attending this event. And also thank you so much for Mr. William having this event. And the Honorable Heads of Frodi, Mr. Hikman Prapitasari, lectures of actually I just support what have already explained and also described by Mr. William and also Mrs. Uswa. It is about how we promote career opportunities through English, and I will focus on the strategies of teaching, speaking that promote career opportunities, because most of you are come from English education program, and this is just support our material today. As mentioned earlier by our two speakers, actually mastering English should be one of the skill that mastered by English education program. And that the skill that I would deliver is speaking. Why speaking is one of the skill that we have to overcome, because by mastering speaking, it can enhance your personality while speaking, and also by mastering speaking, it will easily describing job applications, cover letter while interview. As mentioned earlier by Mrs. Uswa, when you want to apply the scholarship, or maybe when you want to apply for a job, so you have to get such an interview. When you master speaking, so it will be easier for you to overcome the interview. And why speaking is important for support the career opportunities, because in mastering speaking, we can understanding common business communications. For example, do you want to apply for a job and the job is about business, or maybe communications, or maybe about health or anything. By mastering speaking, you can easily understand common business communications or any other communications. And again, with fluent English, especially speaking, or maybe good vocabulary, you can be a confident person. You can pitch your greatest ideas, and also you can deliver your idea, deliver your opinion by mastering speaking. Not only that, by mastering speaking, especially in English, you can market your products or service, especially you get a career in regard with the marketing, and you have to speak. If you don't, if you don't know how to speak in English, if you don't know the strategies to speak English, or maybe if you don't know the word, the vocabularies that relate to marketing, it will be hard for you to speak, or it will be hard for you to market your product or your service. This is why speaking is very important, especially for our career opportunities. I don't avoiding any other skills, but for me, speaking is one of the skills that you have to consider to be mastered, especially in English education program. Okay. There are some activities that can promote student speaking skill in our class. Okay. As we have already know that speaking skill has 4 elements: fluency, vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. Hopefully, you can learn how to be fluent in speaking English, how you memorize and also master any vocabulary that relate to career and also your business. And also you can learn your grammar, because speaking is just, the listener understand what we are talking about, but you have to also learn grammar to make our listener understand what we are talking about, and this is very important. Yeah, and also the pronunciation. When you can't pronounce the word well, even we are not native speaker, but we have to try. Yeah, we have to try our tongue to be a native speaker, or even we are not like native speaker, at least we are closer to be a native speaker. Okay. Those are some practical activities that promote student speaking skill. The first is dialogue. Why we promote dialogue? Because in dialogue we can promote any short vocabularies, also short conversations. Actually, we have 4 skills of speaking. The first is survival speaking, public speaking, academic speaking, and also English debate. And dialogue is appropriate for the survival speaking, because the survival speaking is the best for speaking practice. When you want to try to speak, you have to find your partner, and then the partner will answer also your question, and it is one way to promote best speaking. And also picture description. Picture description is like the next strategies or the next activities that relate to survival speaking. Because of what? Because when we, as a teacher, ask the student to describe the picture, so the students will think and try to speak, because they have to describe what is the picture about. Yeah. And the picture description, picture differences also will be the subject activities. And also there are role play. Why role plays? Because role play is a group activities that ask students to speak. And role play also, the students will take their role. For example, they want to make such a role play, Cinderella, or maybe any other story, or maybe the role play at a restaurant, at the hospital, or anything. You can do it in your class when you want to apply about the role play, because such activities actually, even in the class, it can be influenced in your future. It can be influenced for our students' future. For example, you imply the role plays in your class, and the student will feedback, oh, I have already talked by the teacher about how to make such a registration in the bank, or how to make such receive, especially in the hospital. Like, the students will be feedback that have already taught by the teacher, and maybe they will be support their careers in the future. And the next speaking activities that should be focused is story complication or storytelling. This is also will be improve student speaking, because they will tell the story. There are so many improvisation, not only telling the story, but also they can make such improvisation by telling their story. And the next is survey. Survey is appropriate for the advanced or moderate students. Because of what? Because the students ask the students to survey. The students have some indicators that are questions that relate to the material, and the students should should come to the environment, and then they will ask some of the people at the restaurant, some of the people at the hospital. It's such interview or a survey, but you have already make and match the indicator or the question itself. And the next activities is our interview, debate, and presentation. Interview, debate, and presentations are activities or speaking activities that are appropriate for the adult learner. Because of what? Because in interview, debate, and presentation, not only communications that we have to master, but also they have to deliver their idea, their opinion, and also their improvisation while speaking. Okay. The first thing that you have to do when you want to teach speaking, especially to support the career opportunities, you have to know the characteristics of our students. For example, you are a teacher at elementary school or kindergarten school. It means that the student is a young learner. As what he defined, that there are two categories of young learner. The first is very young learner and under 7 years of age, and the second is around 7 to 12 years. Okay, and young learners do not perceive language as a system that needs to be learned, but as communications. When you are a teacher and you are focused to, grammar, pronunciation, and any other part of speech of speaking, the young learner will be confused. The important one, you try to give examples, and the young learner will follow you. because the characteristic of young learner is to imitate what the teacher said, what the teacher do. So if you teach speaking for young learner, the expert suggests you have to give some example. You become the role for the students, because students will imitate everything that you do and also say in your class. Yeah, as we already know that characteristic of learning is children are active learners and thinkers. And children learn through social interaction. Children also learn emphatically through scaffolding by adults. Even children are active learners, children learn through social interaction, but of course we as a teacher should scaffold the students, guide the students to make their speaking is properly. Okay, those are some strategies for teaching speaking for young learners. The first is supplement activities with visuals, realia, and movement. As I said before, young learner lots of visuals. For example, do you want to teach about speaking? I don't want to describe about some material. You have to show the picture. Not only the picture, you also can show the video. Because of what? Because young learner loves something visual, something realia, and movement. Not only visuals, audio, but also you have to, you have to move your body, yeah? Your gesture, your past expression. It should be one component that support your speaking, teaching, learning process, especially for young learner. And also, not only supply the students by visuals, realia, and movement, but you have to ask the students to improve. For example, I will sing one song. Okay. This is the examples when I teach a kindergarten or elementary school students. Okay. For example, make a circle big, 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 big. Make a circle small, small, small. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, this is just an example, okay? Actually, I realized that you have already many strategies and methods that will allow to teach speaking, but I just suggest you, when you are a teacher of young learner, not only you supply the students by visuals and realia and movement, but also you have to ask students. For example, you are standing as you have the standing. For example, you are, sit down, so the student also will sometimes imitate what you do. Okay. The next is move from activity to activity. As we know that young learner is very, active learner. They will not switch if they just sitting or maybe just standing. They will always move from activity to activity. So if you are a teacher for young learner, please make a strategy or method that need to move from activity to activity. And also teach in a team. For example, the team today is about vegetables, or the next will be about fruit, or maybe the next will be about vehicle. Yeah. And use stories and context familiar to students and establish classroom routines in English. If you want to know how far students can imitate or can learn speaking practice, try to practice combined with Indonesian language, become a classroom routines. If you just focus on English, yes, of course, the student will be will be speaking English. But as far as I know, we have to combine between English and Indonesia. But don't forget, time Indonesian full, but you have to combine between English and Indonesia. Okay, that's the speaking strategies for young learner. And I have
Time to make a circle. Make a circle, big, big, big. Small, small, small. Big, big, big. Make a circle, small, small, small. Hello, hello, hello. Make a circle, round and round. Round and round. Round and round. Make a circle, round and round. Hello, hello, hello. Make a circle, up, up, up. Down, down, down. Up, up, up. Make a circle, down, down, down. Now sit down.
so much. This is one of the examples when we teach young learner by doing the movement. When the song or the teacher speak up, 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 or down, 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 small, 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 or big, big, big. So you have to use your movement. And the second is strategies to teach speaking to middle-aged learner. As we know that age middle learner is around 12, 13, and 14 students. And most students have begun developing the ability to understand symbolic ideas and abstract concepts. And the first thing that you have to do is have to know the characteristic of the middle-aged learner when you want to implement strategies and method of teaching English, especially speaking. The first, I would like to share that characteristic of middle-aged learner is curious and willing to learn things they consider useful. Most of the students age around 12 till 14 years old, they are curious. Not only that, students also beginning to think critically. They will ask anything. They will ask why we have to do this method, why we have to do this strategies, why we have to learn this. Yeah. These questions will arose when we teach the middle-aged learner. And also, characteristic of middle-aged learner is prefer active or passive learning activities that involve working with their peers. When you teach a teenager, please make such a group or a peer, because the characteristics of middle-aged learner, they love or prefer active with their peers. Because of what? Because in this age, the learner try to, show their ability, share their persona. Yeah, I don't know what is that, but in this age, their ability will increase. So that is why when we want to teach the teenager students, please make a group or maybe fields. It is just suggestions. And also, the characteristics of middle-aged learners need frequent physical activity and movement. And this will be the same with the young learner. And also, need adult support, guidance, and collaboration. As a teacher, we have to give support or maybe to give our guidance to the student, because in the teenager age, they will be lazy if there are no guidance. There are no support from the teacher. Even when they want to such a good method or strategies, but if you don't guide them well, they will be lazy to practice the teaching and learning practice. Okay, and also the characteristic of middle-aged learner is mood swing. Yeah, as we know that teenager students sometimes good, sometimes angry, sometimes sad, without don't know what are the reasons. But that one of the reason we have to know the student's character before we implement our method of study. Okay, so there are some activities or speaking strategy that appropriate for the teenager students. The first is small talks, role play, story completion, survey, and photo story. As I have told before, that's those speaking activities can implement in the teenager age. Okay, and will be the last. Okay. Teaching speaking to adult. Yeah, teaching speaking to adult is especially for senior high school or maybe undergraduate students. Before we discuss about the activities that have to implement in adult, we have to know students' characteristics, especially adult characteristics. The characteristic of adult student is maturity and also self-confidence, autonomous learner, decisions making, and generally more practical, multitasking, purposeful, self-direct experiences, and less open-minded and receptive to change. So all these traits affect their motivation as well as their ability to learn. Okay, if you are teens, especially junior high school students, try to see the character and also try to see which strategies and method that makes and sweet with the students. Okay, some strategies that proposed by any expert and also suggest. The first is becoming a newscaster, becoming an international master of ceremony, practice public speaking, and presenting research article. Actually, there are many speaking activities that can be implemented, but becoming a newscaster, becoming international master of ceremony, public speaking, and also presenting research article support your career opportunities. That's why when we talk about career opportunities, we as a teacher try to support them by mixing the activities that relate to their future, to their dream. For example, the student have a dream to go abroad, and we as a teacher should, facilitate them by giving the speaking activities, like for example, conducting an interview, or maybe becoming an international master of ceremony, practice of public speaking, or maybe presenting research article, becoming a newscaster. Because of what? Because when a teacher assist students to promote their careers in the future and begin from their class, it will help students also in the future. That is why it is very important to see the student's character, the student's dream, the student's future, when we want to teach or when we want to implement which media, method, and strategies that we want to implement in the class. Okay, I have a video that relates to speaking activities for adults.
Good evening, I'm Amaliana and welcome to the NCP. Our top star today cover a range of developments both locally and globally. Our lead star tonight is a somber one as the nation comes to grip with the tragic fate of the Indonesian submarine Nagel 402. After days of intense search and rescue operations, the Indonesian Navy has confirmed that the submarine has been found on the ocean floor, broken into 3 parts. The lives of 53 submariners on board are presumed to have perished in this devastating incident. Preliminary report indicated potential failure in the submarine's propulsion system, but investigations are ongoing to determine the precise cause of this maritime tragedy. The international community has extended condolences recognizing the challenges and risks faced by the submariners across the globe. The magnitude of this loss is reverberating not only within Indonesia but resonates with nations worldwide that understand
the speaking activities that I implement in my class, especially for adult learner. The first one is becoming a newscaster. Actually, there are many speaking activities that can support the career opportunities. That is why we, as a teacher, not only we give some materials and topic, but also we have to make such a project to make them learn autonomous, to become independent students. We give such a project for adult learner because of what? Because they will think, they will looking for, they also will try any other application, any other technology, any other strategies or any other media that can support their speaking activities while getting the assignments from the lecturer or the teacher. Okay, I guess enough from me. Thank you so much for the opportunities. We come to the end of this seminar and we will get the end question and answer session with Mr. William and Mr. Uswa. Thank you so much for today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Nurul, for sharing inspiring stories and information for us. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now finally arrived at Q&A session. So for the participant who want to ask a question, you can directly raise your hand and ask the question for the speaker, all the speaker. Okay, okay, thank you. Do you have any question? Okay, Nabila, it's your turn again. It's twice.
The question for Ibu Uswa. One of the way to reach or to reach a success in our scholarship is support, of course, a support from our family or even our friends. So the question is, how can we get the support from them, and how can we convince them that we are eligible enough to apply a scholarship? That is the question for Ibu Uswa. And then the question for Miss Nurul Afiyattena is, when teaching English, which is the best way in teaching? Do we have to continuously teaching in English language, or we can just mix the language when we teaching? Like we are native Indonesian, so we can speak bilingual by Indonesian and English. That is, thank you.
Thank you so much, Nadila, for the question. So the first question will be answered by Miss Uswa. Okay, Miss Uswa.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Hannah and Nadila, for the question. That was a great one. Yeah, indeed. Obviously, we cannot go there. We cannot go far away from home without the support from our parents. Especially when you're not married, of course, the blessings from your parents will be the first, right? That's gonna be the first consideration whether you go or not. Okay, how to convince people around us to support us? So this is the thing. I know that like there are some parents who don't want to let their kids to go far away even for study, and because they do not know yet what is the benefit of studying abroad. So to convince them, of course, you have to give them some exposure. What kind of exposure? You can just tell them some stories about your lectures, for example. You can tell them, oh, I have a great lecturer, namely Ibu Nurul Afiyattena. She has been here and there. She has a great career right now. It's because she studied abroad, for example. So that kind of exposure. Because especially when our parents are like living in a village, for example, they do not get that much exposure, So this is our, hold on a second, obligation to give them, like some explanation. Again, communication is the key for everything. You just need to communicate it. You have to enlighten them. What is the benefit of you going abroad? Yeah, what kind of, expertise that you will get by studying abroad? Why is it better to study abroad, for example? So yeah, and then how to convince people that we are eligible. We do not have to convince people about our eligibility. It's us who decide that we are eligible or not, because not many people can see that we are capable enough, because you will find people who keep saying, no, you cannot do that. Oh my God, that's too high. Don't dream too high. Even for example, when you're saying, oh, I really want to study abroad, I want to go to the US, I want to go to the UK, to Canada, for example, to continue my study. People's like, what are you saying? Are you serious about that? I don't think you're eligible. You know what I mean? So this is the eligibility, the qualification that you yourself will have to prepare that. You do not need any approval from anyone. You have to be eligible. Once you prepare, then once you're ready, just go ahead. Okay. So, I think the last slide, I'm going to, just to answer the question, I'm going to share my last slide. Hold on a second. This is because, okay. Is my slide visible? Okay, hold on a second.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. This is my closing statement actually. Whatever is meant to be yours, it will be yours no matter what. Okay. All right. So what it means that don't be afraid of getting rejected. Yeah. Our duty as human being just to do the best as we can. Yeah. We know in bahasa Indonesia rezeki itu tidak pernah tertukar. So this is the main meaning of whatever is meant to be yours. It will be yours no matter what. So when you want to apply for the scholarship, for example, don't think about your competitors. Don't think about, oh my God, can I do this? Am I eligible for that? Am I qualified for this scholarship? Look at other like applicants from other great universities, from state universities, from prestigious universities. Don't think about them. Okay, your duty as human being is just to try to play your role, which is applying. Yeah, trust me, whatever is meant to be yours, it's gonna be yours no matter what. It doesn't matter how great are the competitors are, you will be the winner if it's meant to be yours. But one thing that you have to do, you have to be in that circle. Your name has to be there as one of the applicants. How can it be yours if you don't even try to apply? You know what I mean? So yeah, do your part. And then, yeah, I think that's all for the question. Maybe we can move on to the next question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibu Uswa. Very inspiring.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Ms. Uswa and Nadila, for the question. Okay, next will be answered by Bu Nurul, the second question.
Okay, thank you so much for the questions, Nadila. If I'm not mistaken, you are asking about which one is better in teaching English bilingual or full English.
Yes.
Okay. As far as I know, as far as we implement in this meeting, as you heard, Mr. William reverse opening, he said in Indonesian and continues to English. Not only that, Mrs. Uswa also speak in English and add Indonesian language to make the audience more understand, more comprehend. As also this is implemented in my class. I don't know if the experience from Ms. Uswa and also Mr. William, you can add my answer. But as far as my experience, I always combined my language. I use bilingual Indonesian and English. Because of what? Because learning using two languages or bilingual, it can expose students to different cultures and also increase students' cognitive comprehension, and also students can more engage. The first thing that we have to think is when we teach full English, do students understand what we are talking about? Yeah, we have to consider the understanding and the comprehension of students. That is why bilingual is, suggest by many expert or lecturers when I learned at my master degree also. My senior lecturer said that when you teach, especially for young learners, you have to combine between native speakers and also your mother tongue. Okay, that's answer that's my answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Nurul.
Thank you so much.
Now, can I give some additional answer?
Yes. Sure.
Okay, related to that question, yeah, there are some experts who have actually different opinion. However, you know, when I was in the US, I was teaching Bahasa Indonesia, guys, as I told you earlier. So it means that my students were American who didn't even know what terima kasih was. So it means that they were literally empty, you know, like empty glass, you know. So, okay. And then I remembered because they didn't know a single word in Bahasa Indonesia. So of course I keep mixing with English so that to make them understand. Because first when I started to speak Bahasa Indonesia, they looked so confused. And it gives me pressure as well. I felt really stressful because I know how it feels, you know, being a teacher. When we see that our students get really confused, we cannot bear it, you know. Then I mixed with English. Then at the same time, my supervisor passed my classroom. And then after that, she emailed me. Uswa, I coincidentally heard when you were teaching, you still use a lot of English in your classroom. Remember, that's what she said. Remember, we have to apply 90% of target language. Okay, so it means that if you are teaching English, of course, you've got to apply teaching 90% of English. At the time, I was teaching Bahasa Indonesia, so I had to apply 90% of Bahasa Indonesia, which I used to think impossible. You know what I mean? Like 90% of Bahasa Indonesia, and my students were just empty, you know, like empty glass. How could I do that? Guys, so this is very interesting. I used to think that it was impossible. But the thing is, some experts give that kind of research. It's because they have conducted that kind of teaching and it worked. And then I took courses like at Ohio University, teaching world languages. Qadarullah, you know what I mean? When I took that courses, the first chapter of the course called HLTP, High Leverage Teaching Practices, you know, it was how to teach, how to implement 90% of target language. I was so shocked. I was so impressed at the same time. So it is, yes, possible. Just the 10% of our language is just to explain, like, for example, where in a cultural situation, because we are afraid that there will be misunderstanding about culture. Like, for example, I told you rezeki tidak pernah tertukar, for example. That's very, I have to say that so that you know, like, what is the equivalent of my explanation, you know what I mean? So that's the part of the 10%. I used to think it was impossible, but it is possible, guys, to apply 90% of target language because we have the stages. Yeah, maybe Ibu Hikmah Pravita later on, because last year, William and I also gave a training how to apply HLTP in MGMP Guru Bahasa Inggris di Lebak, Banten. So maybe later on in the future, we will be collaborating, talking about workshop like HLTP. high leverage teaching practices, the detailed information, the step to step how to teach English is describedly crystal clear. So it is possible, but we just need to know the ways. So I think that's all from me.
If I can add just one thing. Oh.
Mr. William, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, personally, I taught English also to beginner students, and I used a lot of images and a lot of body language. So that's very useful in that kind of situation. Like, you show them some pictures, and you show them. You also can write the word on the board, so they have like a visual and body language. So yeah, there's a lot of different techniques that you can use to keep using the target language. So yeah.
Okay, thank you for the additional answer. Okay, follow-up answer. Okay, next question comes from our rector, Bapak Dr. Kiai Haji Soleh.
Okay,
Ya, Bapak, silahkan.
I have comment, maybe question that can be respond or answered by Mr. William or Mrs. Uswatun or Mrs. Nurul. I introduce you that I am someone that study English from since senior, since junior high school until university, but I can't speak English well. The question is it possible to speak English right, well, fluent, without going abroad, studying abroad, involving any activities with English, for example? If it is possible, how to do it? Thank you for your explanation or question or response.
Okay, thank you so much, Bapak, for the question. Okay, Mr. William.
Yes. Okay. So I think the question is it possible to speak English fluently without going abroad and without participating in any activities? Is that the last part? I didn't get it. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the point.
Okay. Personally, I wouldn't. I mean, traveling abroad, okay, that's one thing. You don't have to travel abroad for sure, because I think that you can find the opportunities to practice in your home country. And now with the internet, the internet is very powerful, so it can allow you to practice with people from anywhere in the world, right from your home or from a coffee shop or wherever you got the internet connection. But I think I'm going to be frank with this. If you don't practice, it's going to be impossible for you to become fluent. So that's the only thing that's I know of that can help you to become fluent. Because even if you read all of the books, like I remember when I was learning how to teach English, I read a story about a man who tried to learn German just by reading German books. And he read so many books, and he was super good at reading. He understood everything. And then he went to Germany and he tried to speak with the Germans there, and he couldn't do anything. He was not even able to order something at the restaurant, right? Because like, speaking is a very unique skill, so it has to be practiced. And so you have to find a way to put it into practice and to become. That's the only way, I think, to become fluent. So I don't know, does that answer the question?
Thank you, William.
Next, Miss Uswatun. Maybe is there any follow-up information or explanation for Bapak Rector?
Okay, thank you, Ibu Hana. Thank you so much, Pak Rector, for the questions. It's an honor for us that you've been here since the very beginning. We really appreciate it. And who says that your English is not good? Who says that? Masya Allah, Bapak, you speak English
To support,
well.
By asking the question.
support
Yeah,
our student.
yeah. Yeah, but that's really good. You give the example, the real example for your students. You speak English and we can understand you very well. So it means that you are speaking English well. You know, that's actually the fact in our country. Yeah, of course, like many of us have been learning English since like elementary school, but until at university level. But most of us, we just do not know how to speak. It's because actually back then in the past, our curriculum was focusing more on how we do the task on the paper. That's all. Right? So that's why we are not used to speaking in English, because our main goal to learn English just to do the task, how to use do and does. She doesn't, or do I do not. You know what I mean? It's just like that, you know. But thankfully, our current curriculum is more applicable and more practical for English itself. So I think there are more students right now who are able to speak English. I'm really proud of it. And then, of course, it is possible for us to be fluent in English without traveling to English-speaking countries nowadays. Why? Because we have this environment. I know in our real environment, we do not have that yet, unfortunately. Yeah. Even though we are in English education department, there are not many people who want to speak English. People are still afraid of being judged by speaking English. Yes, that's very sad. Yeah, but guys, by having this technological era, guys, like look, I know you guys have TikTok, for example. There's so many people open rooms on TikTok to what? To practice their Englishes. Like me, I just joined TikTok like 3 months ago, and now I've been opening rooms for people to speak English. So if we do not have the environment, we create the environment. Because as William said, without practicing the language, it's impossible for you to be able to speak the language, even though you are really good at reading, for example. Like Miss Nurul Afiyattena said that, she doesn't say that other skills are not important, but speaking is something else. When you meet someone, like new people, for example, they will not test you your essay, how to write an essay. No, at the first time. They will not test you your reading comprehension. No, they will not test you your listening. Maybe your listening, yes. Okay, but the most thing that they test you is your speaking, because you will be saying, you will be asked like, what's your name? Where are you from? You know what I mean? So that's why it's very important to practice. Yeah, so practice is the only key to make you fluent. It doesn't matter where you are. Even though you go to other countries, if you don't want to practice, yeah, of course, you will get stuck. You will be going nowhere. You will not improve yourself. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all.
Thank you so much, Ms. Uswa, for the answer. Maybe Bu Nurul, is there any follow-up answer or additional
No,
answer?
thank you. I have the same opinion with them.
Okay, so that's all enough, the answer. And thank you so much for the speakers, for the participants who have actively participated in this session. Yeah, dear ladies and gentlemen, we have come at the end of the session. So I made a short conclusion here that English proficiency is the key to unlock so many opportunities and chances in today's world, since English is needed in every aspect of our life today. Okay, thank you so much, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Master of Ceremony, I would like to share my gratitude and say many thanks to Bapak Dr. Haji Soleh MM, Bapak Dr. Haji Dini Arifian SEMM, Ibu Hikmah Pravitasari M.Pd, Ibu Siti Hana Sumaidi M.Pd, Mr. William Rheault PA, Ibu Uswatun Hasanah M.Pd, and Ibu Nurul Afiyattena M.Pd. Bapak Ibu dosen PBI Unilam, and all participants, mahasiswa PBI Unilam who have participated until the end of this event. Also, I would like to apologize if there were mistakes and offend someone during this event. Thank you so much and thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.